This is one of the most popular side hustles in 2025, but is it profitable? In this video, I'm going to show you what it takes to flip cars in 2026 and how profitable it really is. Now, when you flip cars for a profit, you have to buy cars because you got to spend money to make money, right? But this is the most crucial part about flipping cars, because in order for you to make money off the car, you have to take the car from where it's at, make it gain value to be able to sell it for more money after you're done. And you gotta be 100% positive that the car is what I call flippable. And this is where car flipping can become a little more like gambling or FanDuel or DraftKings, if you're like me. You see, my dad has an old saying, a car is worth what somebody will pay for it. And while that may sound pretty stupid, it's actually really true, because when it comes to flipping cars, you can throw the KBB and everything else out the window. What you're gonna make off that car is truly what somebody will pay for it later on. So before you buy a car to flip, it's very important that you establish your own value on that car. What would you pay for the car if it was in perfect condition? And then once you have that number, I would subtract $1,000 to $1,500 off of it to make sure you could sell it easily to somebody. Because we all know the cheaper the car is, the faster it'll sell later on down the road. So if you get what I'm saying, buy them cheap, fix them cheap, sell them cheap. That's how you get them going quick. Now, no matter where you get your car, you gotta decide what type of flip is it. And for me, there's three types of flips. There's one, powertrain flips, which means the car has a powertrain issue that renders it basically useless, and you can buy it for cheap, fix the powertrain issue, and then sell it for big money. Powertrain flips aren't always easy and cheap to fix. You can end up with something that costs way more money than it's worth to fix, and that's the reason it was sold to you so cheap. So you gotta be careful. I got one good example of this right here. Now, this is a 2013 Nissan Pathfinder that was bought by the shop for a powertrain flip. Only problem is it had a bad transmission, and the transmission costs about $3,500 in this thing. Not very cheap. We bought it from Nissan, and it required extra programming. So stuff can add up really quickly, and a car like this with 175,000 miles really probably is only worth about $4 to $5 grand. So you spend the $3 grand on a unit, plus another couple $100 in programming, plus another couple $100 in tires to get it legal for state inspection. It starts cutting into your profit rather quickly. Not to mention all the labor that you put into this thing to take the transmission out, put it back in. You either got to pay somebody to do that or do it yourself, which costs you time, and time is money. This is an example of a car that you probably shouldn't buy. It's a powertrain flip that is not worth doing. Now, some of my favorite powertrain flips come from Hondas or Acuras, and that's because you can rebuild the transmissions or sometimes find them really cheap at a junkyard, and all you gotta do is swap out the transmission. They rarely have engine problems, but if you find one with an engine problem, you can basically do the same. Especially the older it is, the more available parts are at the junkyard and the cheaper they usually are. I've flipped several Hondas with powertrain issues, and it always turns out really nice. You don't have to worry about the engine going bad, and as long as you treat the transmission right, rebuild it right, or get a good used one and fill it up with nice fresh fluid, you usually never hear from the buyer again, which is what you want. Now, the other type of flip that I really like to do is an interior flip, but you usually got to spend more money on the upfront cost of the vehicle because it usually runs fine. And an interior flip is a car that has a totally torn up interior. And all you really got to do is like buy some new seats or some new carpet or get it to smell really nice, and then you could sell it. And those flips are minimal labor and minimal cost, but you usually got to spend a good amount of money on it up front. And this thing right here would be considered an interior flip if it didn't have a powertrain issue. This is a 2001 4Runner, and I bought this because it had a blown head gasket. We got it for really cheap. So really, it's a powertrain flip, but I don't have any interior flips. This is the best example I got. You can see how the seat's been eaten up, and these seats are not cheap, but you can maybe find some cloth ones to replace it, and somebody that just needs a car desperately wouldn't even really care. You can also see the carpet probably needs to be replaced as well. It needs a radio. Somebody just tore this thing up on the inside. I still have some engine parts in here because we're still working on this thing, and hopefully I'll have it fixed and a video posted about it very soon. If it was just an interior flip, this car would be much nicer and it would probably already be sold. But I gotta fix the engine, and I'm gonna have to find some good seats in it in order to get it sold. Now I've done several interior flips and I really like them because they're pretty easy and you can usually find the parts to fix them at a junkyard, especially if the car is very popular. I did a Mercury Milan I bought from the auction one time, and this thing looked like somebody had dumped a bunch of soda and left it outside. I have no idea what they did on the inside of it, but it was completely wrecked. And I ended up selling it to a used car dealer, and the engine and transmission ran fine. All I had to do was change the fluid and the oil and put new seats and carpet in it. It was ready to go. Now the third type of flip is one I don't really like to do. It's because I'm not really good at body work, and that's called an exterior flip. And that means you got some type of body damage that you gotta fix. I got two examples of this here. I bought this truck at auction and I didn't know it was gonna be an exterior flip. I thought it was just gonna be a normal old flip. It only has 105,000 miles on it. The engine runs good, the transmission drives, but the problem is it's got a lot of rust. You can't tell, but if you start looking closely, you'll see that it just gets worse the more you look. And really, the frame is the biggest problem of it. And if I had it on the lift, I could really show you. But this is an exterior flip and it's still sitting out here because I haven't had the time to do it. And I don't really know what I'm doing with the exterior flip. So I kind of got to figure it out as I go. It needs a frame swap or the frame repaired with a welder and a lot of time and labor. And that's most of the reason of why it's still out here. The other exterior flip I got is this one, and this was something I bought to try to learn how to do body work, and it's been sitting out here ever since. And the problem with body work that I had is finding parts to get it done without repairing it yourself. This radiator support needs to be replaced, the hood needs to be replaced, probably both fenders on this thing, as well as the bumper reinforcement. A lot of parts, really hard to find, especially when you don't know how to paint and you want to color match the whole thing. Not a really good flip, especially for somebody like me that's never really done much body work before. So out here this thing sits, and I'll probably use it for another powertrain flip if I can find a Honda with a bad motor, because the motor still works fine in this thing. When you're trying to flip a car, it's important that you buy a car as cheap as you can. And more importantly, wherever that car is at in its journey, you can take it from where it's at to make it worth more money so you could sell it and flip it. The biggest question though is, where do you get these cars and how do you get them for cheap? Well, one of those places I get cars is where I got this one from originally, the auction. This is a 2000 model Toyota 4Runner. You know I love 4Runners. And I bought this thing at an IAA auction a couple years ago. It's back now because somebody traded it back in after I sold it to them, and it's gathered a little bit of rust since then. But I bought this thing for pretty cheap back then, but the problem is with auction cars is they always have issues because nobody just gives up cars like this. They're at the auction for a reason. And usually those reasons are hidden behind the auction paperwork or the unavailability of being able to check out the car before you buy it. So it's a really big gamble buying cars at the auction. Another source for good flippable cars is abandoned and broken cars. Now this kind of follows the auction guidelines because most of those have been abandoned or broken or traded in. But abandoned and broken cars, you should know what's wrong with it before you even buy it. And that's probably the best way to buy cars. There's multiple types of flips, but most of the time when you're buying abandoned and broken cars, you're looking at a powertrain flip, kind of like this Chevy Malibu here. And the best place to find abandoned vehicles or broken vehicles is at a repair shop, like I'm at right now. Luckily, this is my dad's repair shop, and I'm able to fix these vehicles for him and make a little bit of money off the labor. And that's what the Chevy Malibu's here for. It came to the shop to be repaired for a transmission issue. The lady owed about $1,900 on it still, and it was gonna cost at the minimum at least $1,500 to fix this thing. We're not sure if it has a complete bad transmission or just a bad module inside the transmission. Either way, she couldn't afford it, so she got the title from the bank and sold it to us for about 500 bucks. And it's my job to take it from this and turn it into cash, so every car out here turns into $1. That's the goal, and that's kind of my job here. Now, it's incredibly convenient to have the cars here at the shop because I could check them out before I even buy them and know what I got to do to them, know how much I could sell them for, and know how much I'm going to have in it before I even start working on the thing. And that is probably the best way you could flip cars. Now, another way to find abandoned or broken cars is just by going on Facebook Marketplace. That's where usually people take their cars back to their house, they put them on Facebook Marketplace, and they try to sell them when they're broken or they can't afford fixing them. The only trouble with that is you can get a little sketchy on there, and people try to hide stuff a lot on Facebook Marketplace. And I could think of two Toyotas recently. One, they said it was a 4x4 vehicle. I pulled up here, looked up underneath of it, and saw no transfer case. And I was like, oh, this is rear-wheel drive. I don't want this thing. The other was a Toyota Sequoia, and it just had bad reverse. That's at least what the guy told me. Luckily, I looked up underneath of it, and there was barely any metal left because it had all rusted out. Needless to say, I didn't buy either of those vehicles, and it left a bad taste in my mouth on getting vehicles from Facebook Marketplace. And then the final place I like to go is visit other repair shops that have vehicles that have just been sitting there for way too long, and eventually they'll get the titles from them, and you can buy them for hopefully pretty cheap. I bought in quite a few vehicles like this, and usually they make pretty good flips because the mechanic already knows what's wrong with it. It's already been checked out, and you can get it for cheap. If you have a place to bring it back and fix it like I do, it makes it all the more better. Needless to say, powertrain flips are my specialty, specifically transmission powertrain flips, because that's what I started on when I started learning how to work on cars. This right here is a Nissan 350Z. It was an abandoned car, and it turned out to be a bigger powertrain flip than I expected. I thought it just had a bad clutch and maybe needed an oil change from a knock in the motor. Turns out the crank bearing was bad, and it needed a complete engine, either swap or overhaul. And that's the trouble you can run into with powertrain flips. There can be more than you expect to do, and it can cost you way more money and take you way more time than you expect. So you gotta be careful, you gotta check out the car thoroughly before you decide to purchase it. This one was abandoned. I had to get it out of where it was at rather quickly, so we got it back to the shop before we discovered any of this was going on. And at that point, you're at a point of fix or flop. Let me explain. Now, fix or flop is the decision point where you decide you're either gonna fix the vehicle and be able to sell it for money, or whether you're just gonna let it sit around and flop. And that's a flop. I got a Silverado, that's a flop, and we're trying to prevent the 4Runner up there from being a flop as well. But at this decision point, it's a crucial point in the flip, because you gotta add up everything you're gonna have to do to fix that vehicle, be precisely accurate with it, and figure out how much you're gonna sell that thing for. And the value of a car is always in question. You can look up KBB values, you can look up a whole bunch of other stuff, but in reality, the car is gonna be worth what somebody's truly willing to pay for it. So you have to figure that out before you even start fixing and decide, is it gonna be a fix or is it gonna be a flop? Take this Honda Accord as an example here. This is a flop for me because one, it's gonna cost way too much time, effort, and money for me to fix. So I'm gonna let it flop out here because I've weighed my options, I've figured out the value of this thing, and I've made my decision. It's probably gonna get the engine ripped out of it and sent to the scrap yard whenever I have the time. But the reason it's a flop is because in order to find a hood, it's gonna take me a long while and cost at least a couple $100. Plus, I'll have to paint it, as well as the fender, as well as the radiator support. And all that money is not gonna add up to what this thing is truly worth, which is probably around $4,500 at the maximum. With 156,000 miles on it and how much I've let it sit, it's probably only worth $3,500 at the maximum. And I'm gonna put way more than that into it to even get it fixed. So this is a flop. Now on both sides of me, I got a flop over here and a fix over here. Now the 4Runner, it's a fix. We're gonna be able to get this thing fixed because it's got a solid frame, it's got a solid body, and it just has a powertrain issue. And that's my specialty. Even though I've attempted to repair it once, we're not gonna give up on it just yet because I still think I can get it fixed. But over on this side, we got a Chevy Silverado. And I spent way too much money on this thing at the auction, which inevitably turned it into a flop. And I've still yet to decide whether I'm gonna let it completely flop or if I'm actually gonna attempt to fix this thing. It's got a bad frame, and I didn't know that when I bought it, so I spent way too much money on it. And buying a frame for another $300 only puts me in the hole even more and creates even more labor that I gotta do to get this thing fixed. At the maximum, this truck is probably worth $5 to $6 grand. I spent $3 grand on it at the auction. another 300 bucks on the frame, plus the tow to get it here. I roughly have 3,500 to 4 grand in this thing before I even start turning wrenches on it. And you know, doing a frame swap, we're gonna find a whole lot of other stuff that we have to replace. I could be into this truck for well over 4 to 5 grand before I'm even done. And that's why it's still sitting here unfixed. We also got a cracked windshield that we got to replace. That's like 300 bucks right there. It's truly a shame because this truck looks great on the outside. We may part it out. We may find another truck that has a powertrain issue and use the parts out of it to get everything fixed. I'm still undecided on it, and I still haven't found a nice Silverado that actually does need parts out of this thing. And with the frame sitting right over there with a bunch of junk on it, it may be a video, it may not. But eventually I'll make a decision on it, but for now, it's a flop. And this is what you gotta be careful of, having too many cars outside your shop because you bought too many flops. Something that is not really worth fixing, and you won't get your money back out of even if you do fix it. Like I said, you just gotta move on to the next flip, even if it takes multiple times to get it flipped. And my game plan with this red 4Runner is to use the engine out of that rusty black one that runs nice and quiet and put it in this red one that has a pretty bad engine problem. So before you decide to fix anything, you gotta decide, is it gonna be a fix or is it a flop? And actually, really, you should decide that before you even buy anything. You can go look at any car out there, and if you don't know what it takes to fix it, you don't know how much it costs, and you don't know the value of it, you could get yourself in trouble real quick. So flipping cars is a struggle. And the real thing is the struggle gonna be worth the reward? And when you're done with your flip, or you've got it running again and you've taken it from a place where it had no value and now it's got really good value, it's time to decide what's the reward. And this is where you gotta know what you got into the car, how much time you got into it, what do you value that out, and how much that car is truly worth now. And this isn't really the crucial part of it, because as long as you're making money on the car, you'll never lose any money. And I know that sounds pretty obvious, but it's the truth. As long as you're in the black, you can keep flipping cars, and you don't have to worry until you're in the red and you're not making any money, and worse, you could be losing money. So before you go to sell your car, it's important to know how much money you've spent and how much do you value your time, and how much do you want to pit that against what the car is worth. And then at that point, you could decide what you need to sell it for in order to actually make money and continue flipping cars. And whatever happens with that car, it's important to know you just got to move on and move on to the next flip. Whether you make $10,000 or lose $1,000. You can't think about it, you got to move on to the next flip. If you're just looking to flip one car, I wouldn't recommend it, because the chances are you're probably going to lose a little bit of money. If you're looking to flip multiple cars, you just got to keep flipping. It's not about how bad or good the last one is. It's always about how good or bad the next one's going to be. So stay diligent, stay on the grind, and most importantly, stay dirty. You can just call me Eddie.